Izzo and the fans were great. It was so good to have him back. And exhibition game, I thought it was awesome. That was a positive. Stephen Izzo has spent, this is his third year on the Izzo scholarship, and it might get pulled tomorrow because I told him to shoot, and he told me to hell with you. So disrespect from the player. So a little disappointed in that. But, you know, in general, first of all, Andy does a hell of a job with this team, you know, and where are we? I don't think any of us know. What I do know is I was impressed that we held the team to, 58 points, and it was really in the 40s until we had 7 turnovers in the last 3 minutes. I was disappointed in our turnovers. I was disappointed in our free throw shooting. I was disappointed in our three-point shooting because we've been doing a really good job of that. But when you play a lot of people and go through those things, some of that stuff's going to happen. We put a lot into, Walter Kelser, Gregory's nephew, and very, very good player, really shoots the ball. And I thought their big guy hurt us a little bit. Still, if there was a weakness for us, our center's still got to do a better job. But I thought there were times Marcus played pretty well and Julius played pretty well. And Marty's a lot stronger, and he's actually been coming on. But if there are probably some bright spots, Joey Hauser was a bright spot that he did a little bit of everything, shot it well, rebounded pretty well, made some assists, played pretty good defense. I thought Gabe Brown really played within himself, and that was good to see, shooting a high percentage, not taking any bad shots. And defensively, after a slow start, I thought he did a very good job. At the beginning, we were a little bit off on that. Max Christie was, every bit as good as the billing. I guess what really impresses me is 2 of those freshmen, Akins and Christie, defensively were really good. And Max went to the hole, rebounded well. Jaden rebounded pretty well. But Max, if there was a knock on him coming out, it was that he was not strong enough, and defense was a question mark. And boy, I thought he answered those 2 things. He didn't even get many shots, and that's definitely his strength. But getting to the line and getting fouled like that was great. And I thought both our point guards had their moments. I was a little disappointed that as good as Tyson played in some stretches, that he got sloppy with the ball in a couple. But I thought they were a good 1-2 punch, and played pretty well in general. And my jack of all trades guy, Malik Hall, I'm going to always look for more from him because I think he can. But he does a lot of dirty work that people don't see. He guards different people. He rebounds. He posts up. He's on the perimeter. He's going to play some 3. He's going to play some 4. And I thought, for a first game, we did some good things. I think we're showing that we're a lot different team than last year, but yet we got a long, long way to go. So questions?
Tom, I know some of the things you said about Tyson is him running the break. Did you feel like he looked to run, when he got the ball today, and your fast break overall tonight? How did you feel about it?
Yeah, we had our fast break points were 38 points off the fast break. That's almost half our points. And I thought, we did get out and run at times really well. We're big on diagonal dribbling and not straight lining. When we started straight line dribbling, we started turning the ball over a little bit, didn't make as good of decisions. And a couple guys went crazy on me there for a little while. But other than that, I thought he threw some great passes. The turnovers he made were just ridiculous. I mean, it was, here, take the ball, I don't know, maybe he had a cousin on that team for a while or something. But I do believe that he played pretty well, and you didn't even get to see him take a shot, and he's a very good shooter. On the other hand, I thought AJ did some good things too. He rebounded a little better. I don't know how many he ended up with. He had 4 rebounds and 5 points and 4 assists and 1 turnover. So between them, 9 assists is great, but the turnovers weren't good enough, 5, and most of that was Tyson. So, yeah, I thought, Tyson, he did some good things defensively. He's going to be a damn good player.
There was a moment in the first half, I think, where AJ had a breakaway layup, and he sort of slowed up. And I was watching you the full way to see your reaction, and you were very restrained on it. What was going on in your head when that happened? Was it one of those things where this is an exhibition, this is a teachable moment, or is that one of those things that you were pretty ticked about?
Well, I was pretty ticked about it because I want to run this year. Last year we walked the ball up the court, but I did show great restraint. It's my new personality now, so I'm just going to just told him that's okay, AJ. If you want to walk the ball up, I got a couple schools you can transfer to, and if you want to push the ball up, I'd embrace you and love to have you here. But you're right. There were times and that go hard, go fast, but yet be under control. We had a couple guys that got out of control a little bit, but most of that was when we were straight line dribbling. So we'll work on that. We'll clean some of that up this week. But in practice, AJ's been the best at pushing it. In practice, probably Tyson's been the best at finding people. So between the two of them, I think we got a good 1-2 punch, and they both can check really good. They're both pretty good on the ball. AJ sometimes off the ball. He's got to work on that. But I thought for the first game and the number of different lineups they played with, and some of that was scripted, I thought we did a pretty good job.
Tom, you mentioned about Max going to the basket. I mean, we've talked so much about his shooting. Have we slept on his athleticism? I mean, it seemed like
Well, if anybody slept on it, it would have to be his coach, because you guys unfortunately didn't get to see him much. And I got to admit, he was a lot more aggressive, but he's been more aggressive in practice. I think it's one of the good things that has happened. He had a hell of a summer in the weight room, and it sounds ridiculous, but I think confidence comes with strength, and he's driving the ball better. He's handling the ball better, but I was impressed. They had him down for how many rebounds? 4 or 5. What did he have, Christie? 4. I swear he had 3 tips in the first half where he tipped the ball, just kept it alive, and somebody else got 2 of them. So I like the fact that he was in there getting his nose bloodied, and that was probably one of the things that people didn't see in Max Christie, and even I was impressed with that, which means here's a kid who looked at his weaknesses and said, wow, that's not going to be a weakness, and all summer he was great. He's been really solid, so far this year, and for a first game, he impressed his coach. I know that, and I think he's coachable. He has no ego, and he has great understanding. And Jaden Akins was right there with him on some things. I mean, Jaden guards even more athletically, and yet not as big. But he's going to get a feel. Both those kids are really coachable kids and going to help us a lot.
Tom, over here. Every time Marcus Bingham does something or doesn't do something, I always look at your reaction to see. And it does seem like there is a communication and understanding on certain things that's grown. One moment where you wanted him to do something on the block and he gave you a thumbs up, and then when he's taking shots, can you just sort of get into that a little bit?
Yeah, if he's got those open threes, I'm going with him on those, but I'm not going with him off the dribble and all that BS that we've had for a couple of years. But Marcus has grown a lot, and you are right. You read that right. He paid attention. There is dialogue. First half we thought we were letting them get the ball in too easy. Second half he did a better job of that. We actually had some cramping up with some guys, and that's why I didn't play some of them. AJ and actually Max, and Marky got a little that way too. I don't know why. That was a little surprising because cramps, not fatigue. But Marcus, we still want to go to him more on the block, and we're going to pound it into him, and we're going to get it into him. And I think he understands that now, and I think he even wants it. So that'll be the next step. But yeah, he's been his immaturity is a lot better. Yeah, a lot better.
Tom, Joey had the 4 assists tonight. It seemed like he was handling it a little bit more, maybe on the break a little bit more. How much different do you expect his role to be this year?
Well, I expect it to be a lot different, you know. I mean, everybody's been hit with different things, as we all know. And I thought of all the kids on my team, the 2 things that I thought hurt Hauser, hurt Malik a little bit, and hurt Gabe. You know, our point guard play where you're getting a pass where you need it, where you can shoot it, not as a last resort, makes those guys better players. I think COVID really affected Joey as much as anybody, and everybody is. I talk to pro people, college people. Everybody's gone through different things. He's had a wonderful summer and so far a very good fall. And, you know, he likes to make plays. I like him to make plays, but he is one of our best shooters. I still thought he passed up a couple shots. So we'll discuss that and see if we can come to a happy medium, because I appreciate a guy who's that unselfish and good passer, but I also really believe that if he's open, I'd sure like to see him shooting the ball.
When it comes to Gabe, how have you really seen him grow, especially now with this new point guard play that can help him, like you just mentioned?
Yeah, well, I think you saw that. I think you saw in the break, he runs the lane as good as anybody. You know, he's improving defensively. He's still, you know, it'll be fun if him and probably Max prove that shooters can guard somebody. You know, that's usually a oxymoron a little bit, where it's illegal for a shooter. And Gabe is improving on that. You know, the tip dunk was a big deal to us because he hasn't been a guy that's gone to the offensive boards, and I think he could be as good as anybody we've had, and we've had some good ones. But his maturation and maturity and this kid lives the game, I'll tell you that. And I thought, you know, sometimes last year took bad shots, did this and that. I mean, I didn't think he took a bad shot. Maybe that one when he fake, but it wasn't an awful shot, especially for him. It was a good start for Gabe. He played better defensively. He got, 4 rebounds. So a couple offensive rebounds. I thought in a lot of ways Gabe did a lot of good things. I was really happy. And our wings are better because I think they're getting the ball at a better time.
Anything else for Coach?
Well, it's, believe it or not, good to see you guys back in the arena. Some of you look better than those cutouts. Some of you don't, but some of you do. So